Hello, my name's Nelson Smyles. I'm a 2017 NICA graduate specialising in hoop diving and clowning, and at the moment I'm touring North America with Cirque du Soleil's Lucia. Getting to NICA was an interesting journey for me. I was a competitive gymnast for maybe 5 years until I started taking up platform and springboard diving, which I did for 2 years, and then I moved to a very small town in Australia called Port Macquarie, where I started to explore more free running and parkour styles of movement. I did that for about 7 years. One day my training partner and very good friend of mine came up to me and asked if I wanted to audition for NICA, and my response was, "What's NICA?" We went and did the pre-audition workshop, which was an awesome opportunity for me to sort of figure out what it was that I was auditioning for. We found out what we needed to train, what we had that was good, what we had that was bad, what we needed to work on. We went and did the audition in Sydney, and then one morning I woke up to a message from Cameron, "Dude, check your emails." And I did, and I found out that I'd gotten in, and that's where it all started. It's wet. Once we got to Melbourne, it was non-stop. Check your physical capacity, see what it was you wanted to do. Specialty shopping, I knew that I wanted to tumble, so hoop diving was the only sort of choice that I could both continue to learn how to tumble and also learn a new discipline at the same time. And when it came to clowning, I was looking at something else, you know, sort of try something that I'd never done before, and the coach came up to me and tapped me on the shoulder and said, "What are you doing?" And I said, I was gonna do this. And he said, "No, you come with me." And I was like, "Okay, alright." That's how I started specialising in clown. I don't think it was ever going to be anything else, really. I'd always had a sort of passion for making people laugh. I loved acrobatics, so those two choices were the only natural choices for me. For sure there was challenges when it came to it, a few really stupid ideas that I wanted to try that had no hope of working out. Some of them did. Some of them worked out better than I could have ever hoped for. And towards the end of NICA, I had a hoop diving act and a clown show. It's such an awesome facility to create something like that. Study tour was the first example I had of what Circus represented on a world scale. We got the opportunity to go to Vegas, where I saw Humanity, Mystère. It showed me this exists. And then we went to Montreal, and it sort of motivated us. When we came back, we were all on the plane like, we need to get better. We need to get better now to get to that level by the time we graduate. That was a really awesome opportunity that I was lucky enough to have when I was at NICA, and it definitely motivated me to become what I am now. Funnily enough, while we were in Montreal, we walked past the Lucia tent, and that's Lucia over there, and I was like, oh damn, there's the tent, there's the sign, that's amazing. Thought nothing of it. 2 years later, I'd be performing in that tent. That's crazy. Effective. Good cut. Nice. And then, halfway through my 3rd year at NICA, I woke up one morning to an email, big bold letters, Cirque du Soleil's Lucia. And I was like, what? Oh, and I got up and I read it, and it said, "We are curious as to whether or not you're interested or available for a position in our big top touring show Lucia." Well, the first thing I did was get up and go edit a video of all the things that I'd done that year, put it all together, and I just shipped it off that day. About 11 weeks of the most minimal contact that I'd sort of ever experienced. I was in the middle of performing my showcase routine as well, my graduating piece for NICA, called 32x8. Once that was done, I got footage of that and I sent that to them as well. By the 11th week, I'd sort of convinced myself that that wasn't ever going to happen to me. I'm going to stop fooling myself and find a job that I know that I'll have. Lucky enough, someone was looking for an acrobatic clown for a regional fringe tour, and I thought, that's perfect. What an awesome place to start after school. And I met with the guy that was producing the show, and we got along famously. It all sounded fantastic. I said, yeah, why not? There's just one little thing that I've got to find out first. I went home that night, woke up the next morning. They said, we'd love to offer you the position. And that was it. I just got my first confirmation email for my first job and out of school, and it was, funnily enough, Cirque du Soleil. at school you don't think that that's a possibility, and you don't think, oh, I'm just going to graduate and jump into Cirque. It's not realistic to think like that. But I didn't let it stop me from trying to be the best that I could be. And here I am. That's it. I was lucky enough to get the opportunity to graduate with my class before I left, which was a magical experience. The ceremony that we held was filled with unbelievable emotion for me. I was so in love with that year group because they were nothing but supportive even when you were down. And I think that's every year at NICA, which is what makes it so special. You build a bond with people that lasts forever. So we graduated, and then 2 days later I flew out to Montreal to start learning all the things that I needed to know for the show. And the thing about that was, it went from 35 degrees, beautiful days like this in Australia, to negative 35 degrees, snowing craziness in Montreal. And I'd never seen snow. And so to fly into that and get out of the plane and have no gloves, I thought my hands were going to fall off. There were a few problems with my visa, which meant I was a bit late for the integration. So then I only had 4 days in Montreal to learn the show, which was very hectic. Learning all the cues, learning my makeup, which I was never good at school, but they were like, yeah, you'll be fine. And then it took me an hour and a half. I didn't get through it the first session. There were some hoop diving trainings, and then it was, all right, go. Since then I've done, I think I'm up to 170 shows as the bird, 3 shows as the cloud. In 3 cities, Los Angeles, Costa Mesa, and Washington. We're about to fly out to Boston with our sights set on Mexico. It's magic, it really is. Can't get me. Okay, you got me. Damn it. I'd like to give a big thank you to NICA for giving me what I believe was every necessary step for what it is I'm doing with my life outside of the school at the moment. Everything that I learned there has been applicable for what I'm doing. It was an incredible journey that I will never forget in my life.